Student, in this video I am going to discuss about Gantt chart. Now, we have discussed about a part chart in previous video, and today I am going to discuss about Gantt chart. And after completing this one, in the next video I'll try to put an example describing how part chart and Gantt chart can be drawn and how it is useful in case of project management and development. So in case of Gantt chart, you can see here, during the era of scientific management, a Gantt chart is horizontal bar chart developed as a production control tool in 1917 by Henry L. Gantt, an American engineer and social scientist. So he tried to demonstrate the schedule of your work, schedule of a work, or schedule of the project by providing horizontal bar chart. A Gantt chart provides a graphical illustration of a schedule that helps to plan, coordinate and track specific tasks in a project. The horizontal axis of the Gantt chart is a time scale. Means horizontal axis is for time, expressed either in absolute time or in relative time, reference to the beginning of the project. The resolutions depends on the projects, means how much you divide the time slot depends on the projects. So definition is that a chart in which a series of horizontal lines shows the amount of work done in certain periods of time in relations to the amount planned for those periods. So try to understand this line. A chart in which series of horizontal lines shows the amount of work done in a certain period of time in relation to the amount of plan for those periods. Means how much you have planned for a specific work or a set of works using some periods of time, and then how much work you have done in certain periods for that for those works that you have scheduled to work. So why we need Gantt chart? We try to avoid completion confusion, means when our project going to be completed or when it will not completed, those type of confusion can be avoided using Gantt chart. It can keep everyone on the same page, means because you just like you have a routine to follow your classes, so you don't have any confusion, means when what class will occur and what class will not occur, what class will be on what date, on what day in a week. Those type of things you have the knowledge about it, and that is why every student stay on the same page or same concept of that routine. But that is why Gantt chart also keep everyone on the same page. It also understands task relationships, means if there are relations between any more tasks, between any more one or two more tasks, then using the Gantt chart you can establish those relationships, effectively allocate resources. Using Gantt chart you can you can get help to allocate resources for specific work effectively. You can handle on the future. So these are the in descriptive way we can understand this need of these Gantt chart basically. So process is that what is the process of Gantt chart is that first we need to identify the purpose, then we need to define the project timeline of the project, break the project down into manageable pieces, means you can deconstruct the project or deconstruct the functions or deconstruct the whole work in manageable pieces or parts. Create progress bars, then you need to create progress bar for every breakdown parts of that project. Define the critical path, you can define the critical path, mean which part or which part of that project will take most amount of time, you can define it. And you can also add milestone markers, means you can put that what at what point of time this has to be done completely or not, like deadline kind of things can be put in the concert. So it is helpful to first decide whether it is a project or a process, because diagramming a process might work better with a flowchart. So that is why you need to understand whether it is process or a project. Define the project timeline. Decide how to divide the increments of time for the duration of the project. Each one should have a start date and end date. Break down the project into manageable pieces. Divide the project into major components, then tasks and subtasks. Continues breaking them down until they are each straightforward tasks. They should be of short enough duration that in time frames can be accurately estimated. Create progress bar. The next step is to create progress bar for each task. A progress bar is simply a horizontal bar that should be in the line with task name it represents and should begin beneath its start date and end beneath its end date. So define the critical path. What is critical path? It is a method of looking at all of the activities in a concert, considering the timing and dependent relationship of each, calculating the longest path from start to completion of the project. Just like the PERT chart. Add milestone markers. You can put some milestones in the concert. So here you can see one example or model of a concert. So there are various tasks like task A, starting point A, task A, task B. Predecessor of task A is 1, means there is start 1, ID 1. Predecessor of B is to 1 also. So A and B also always start from 1 point, starting point. C has a predecessor, means the process that is going to be start C will be started after A and B, or we can say A. Then D also has a dependency on A, means ID 2, that is why 2, and E has a dependency on 3 and 4, B and C. So that is why E cannot start, you cannot start this E process without completing C and A, B and C. Just like that point is that predecessor means this process has to be complete first, then the upcoming task. So finishes dependent upon 7 and 8. So without completing the F and G, you cannot complete the project. So here you can see A and B start as a simultaneously, because that this point start 1, that is 1, that is why predecessor is 1. So A and B can start simultaneously. Then C and D directly depends upon this one, 1, that is why this is linked with C and D. And then this E is linked with 3 and 4, that is 3 and 4. Okay, sorry, that is 3 and 4, this is 3 and 4, so this is linked with this 3 and 4. Then again F is linked with 5, so F will be start from this point only, not before that. And then Z is linked with F, so after completing Z is linked with 6 means E. So without completing E, you cannot start F, sorry, 6. So without completing E, you cannot start Z, and in that way finish will be after completing 7 and 8, that is 7 and 8. But F might complete before Z, but it will not, you cannot finish that line without completing Z. So here you can see there is a duration of that. This is duration bar starting from July 23 to August 36, and then you have to start the project from the starting point, that is 0 days, that is for start point. A from this month, this 4 days, M 1 2 3 4 4 days. Then B will be almost 5.33 days, so 1 2 3 4 5, but these 2 days are holidays, so you can avoid these 2 days, so you need to increment that 0.33 part to this Monday. Then in that way you need to start the points. So that is what it is about Gantt chart. You need to start a project. That is what it is saying. Create a progress bar. It should begin beneath its start date and end beneath its end date. And that is the main criteria. And second criteria is that it should this like here, C cannot start without completing A. D cannot start without completing B. So after that only you can start, and the duration should be exact in that Gantt chart. So in this how you can project a Gantt chart. So advantages of Gantt chart is that it helps in planning and monitoring the work of project. Time is explicitly expressed in the Gantt chart. All tasks are visibly at a glance in relation to other. Deadlines are depicted in the chart. Limitations are like Gantt charts, because of their success, form the most easy to use and most widely used scheduling tools. But these charts are also accompanied with some limitation. Just like in such charts, it is very unnecessary to keep on updating the charts in order to keep it in current form. So daily updation might be there in this kind of chart, because no matter what, due to some reasons, your work might be delayed, and that is why you need to update the charts to make everything, or to keep everything in track. The search is not able to directly reveal the cost of the alternate belongings. So by having this chart, you cannot devise, or you cannot evaluate the cost that is going to happen directly, but obviously you can know that completion times, or how much amount of time will take by any components or any parts of that project. So in that way, might be you can relate with the cost, but directly that chart will not give you any result or hint about the cost. So these charts also do not consider varying process times among work centers. Other limitations include the inability to include certain constants like time, scope, cost. So this is all about Gantt chart. In the next video, in the next class video, I'll try to provide an good example through which I'll try to understand, or I'll try to make you understand that how activity chart and part chart and Gantt chart can be drawn. Or basically I'll try to give a example related to part chart, okay, in the next video. That's it. But if you have any question or discussion need to be done, or any confusion, or if you add something, if you want to add something, then let me know. Then we'll try to resolve all those things over Google Meet. Okay, thank you.